I'm Brian, and this is Game Story Basics. Last time we talked about some basic rhythms, but there's more to consider, so let's cover those and look at some examples. How do you determine if something is long or short? Are you counting syllables or words? And the answer is no. As with everything to do with rhythm, it's relative. You use the other parts of the line to measure if something feels long or short. Nothing is objectively long or short. So we had the line earlier, stop, I don't want this, I never wanted any of this, man. In that setup, I never wanted any of this, man, is obviously the long one. But in a different setup, do you seriously think this is how I wanted it to go down? I never wanted any of this, man. In that scenario, I never wanted any of this, man, is actually the short, right? So it's all dependent on other parts of the line. You also have to consider complexity, because again, we're dealing with voiceover. So more complex words and phrases make something longer regardless of syllables. So for example, what are we even doing here? Versus which target did we acquire? They're about the same length, they're about the same syllable count, maybe even exactly the same, I'm not sure. I don't do math, but or counting apparently. But the second line definitely feels longer. Which target did we acquire? It just has more complex sounds and more complex changes in sound, as opposed to what are we even doing here, which just flows very simply. So let's take a couple of examples of lines that are written in a way they're not necessarily terrible lines, they're just kind of even, and we'll add some rhythm to make them work better. Now, a lot of these lines, they have other problems, and I decided not to fix those other problems because it would sort of blur the example. So don't come at me about how bad some of these lines or how much fixing they need. We are literally just adding rhythm to the line. So get your squadda out of the combat zone. We need to call in an airstrike pronto. Could be pull back now, airstrike inbound on your location, right? So it becomes short and then long. Pull back now, airstrike inbound on your location. Another example, what is going on here? You're in a lot of trouble. So it's two beats, two ideas, but they're very even. They're about the same length. What is this? You're getting in so much trouble for this, right? Now we have a short, long. A third final example, I reckon them Miggs boys rustled near on to 40 head of steer, they did. There's a lot of voice in that line. Them Miggs boys rustled our steer, near on to 40 head. So now we've got long, short. And so that's the kind of rhythm that you add. That's it for this one, but next time we'll talk about some dialogue concepts that are half rhythm and half structure.